Welcome in to episode 11 of our Humankind Let's Play series here at the Maddish Moose channel. We're going to jump right into gameplay for episode 11 here. We've got some critical decisions to make about how to spend influence. I want to walk you through in-game what those look like, and we'll see what we end up doing. I don't even know exactly what we're going to do with the influence that we have, but I think that these are the important decisions early game. How do you manage and utilize your influence? That sets the tone for the game. And I feel like we actually set ourselves up maybe on the wrong foot for this game, but we'll see how it works out in the end. If you'd like to catch up on the series, the link to episode 1 is down in the description so you can catch up on the whole series. If you like the content, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button and be sure you're subscribed to the channel so you see future episodes as they are released. Let's jump into the game. Here we are in Humankind. Once the black screen goes away, apologies. Here we go. We are in Humankind, and we have influence. 313 of it, to be specific. 161 per turn now. Now, here's what I want to quickly cover. We settled this area very quickly as far as expansion into territories are concerned. We very slowly in this game put our cities in. I think that was an error. We specifically held off on cities until we could get one in the New World. I'll support what I did because I think that it's the best location for a city. What happens is if you don't get your cities in a timely fashion in the game of Humankind, you fall behind on influence generation because cities themselves are your biggest generator of influence because of population, and because of the infrastructures you can put into those cities to get your influence generation moving in a positive direction. One of the things that I think as a strategy in Humankind that is critical early game is when you can get a city in, get a city in. It's almost imperative to get your cities in as quickly as possible. You want new cities, you want more cities, especially early game. Once you get up into that like 5 to 6 city range, you're probably sitting pretty. But those first 4, especially I think the first 5 cities, highly important to get in as soon as possible. And I think that because of the scenario we found ourselves in, as far as being kind of stuck on a continent with somebody else, we forward settled them. 3 free peoples came in, right? We've talked about this before. It got very crowded very fast, and there wasn't enough territories necessarily to pre-plan for putting cities in. Probably in hindsight, we should have just put a city in early, a 3rd city, just somewhere in here, and then merged the cities later because you can do that. We probably delayed a little too long in that, and so now we've reached this situation where we have so many things to spend our influence on that we're struggling to do what we want to do. We want to claim a wonder. We want to put attach territories. We want to claim territories. We want to absorb and assimilate free peoples. All of these things cost influence, and we're generating 161 per turn, but it's just not enough to sustain all the things we want to do. So the decision we have to make is, A, do we claim a wonder? B, do we assimilate a free peoples? C, do we use our agrarian ability to get 8 population in this city? Costs 240, costs 250 to claim a wonder. Okay, so I think there's a choice there probably. And then also the other choice is we have coming down from the north and in the water are Icarus's people. I believe they're still the Egyptians, maybe. Nope, the Ahmed Persians are coming down onto the New World here. We also have Plosif's folks over here in green, already having claimed and attached land in the New World. So if we want to get claims in the New World, we kind of need to do it right away. We thought maybe we were going to have kind of free reign if we kind of pushed there quickly. Not so. The AI have also pushed for the New World very hard. It's one of the things I like about Humankind. The AI seems to make relatively decent decisions about what to do in the game for the most part. This is a great decision. Plosif's people pushed over. They claimed and attached all simultaneously, and so they've got a foothold in the New World now. I personally am leaning towards currently, I think our influence would be best spent putting down outposts in the New World, because the more of this territory we can claim, the more we will own, and the more we can just... It'll keep us from having to go to war, which is not something I particularly enjoy doing unless forced into it. And so if we can claim a bunch of this land, I think that sets us up really well for the future of the game. Are we going to probably miss out on a wonder? Probably. Are we going to miss out on some attachments and have to wait on some assimilations? Yes, all of those things are probably true. However, I do think that we want to use our agrarian ability. I don't think we're going to use it until we get this outpost in. These guys are headed to plant an outpost, I believe, right here or here. So they'll get that in on the next turn. So we're going to wait until that outpost goes in, just in case it ends up that we don't have enough influence. I want to get that in as quickly as possible and make the attachment, because that will help this city to grow much, much faster. Always make the first attachment. Even if you haven't put the right civics in or you haven't done the right things, always, in my opinion, always make the first attachment. It's so cheap as far as influence is concerned. So if you can get that first attachment in quickly, that's definitely something to do, especially when this particular city does not have a ton of food, and this particular place with all the river is going to be just a gobload of food and industry, so it's going to be an important thing to do. We also have this marked, because don't forget there's a curiosity there, so we want to go and snag that with one of our units. So I think that's how I'm going to play it, but let's see how things turn out as we press the end turn button. We also have some money that we could spend, so we keep an eye on the money situation as well. All right, that's an osmosis event. Okay, let's take a look at that. Lulaban, it's got an osmosis event. Those are always interesting. We are selling some resources, and we've been forgiven for some. All right, we could take army comp +1 combat strength, and I actually think that would be free. And so, fun thing, I literally just learned this yesterday. If you're in your civics tree and you see this purple glow, right? This purple glow right here around a civic, that means you can actually enact it for free via an osmosis right now. So if it's purple, don't pay for it, because you don't have to, because it's actually being triggered by an osmosis event at that time. And we're actually perfectly fine with taking this +1 combat strength. It moves me closer to this order on the axis here, which is great. That's kind of where we want to be anyway. And +1 combat strength on unit. Heck, why not? I'll take it, especially if it's free. Would I pay for it normally with influence? Nah, I would not. Unless I'm going to war and I needed it. But because it's free, we will enact it, and that will get us a free civic. So that happened, that osmosis happened, because Lulaban is under the influence of, I'm assuming, the Achaemenid Persians. Let's check. Yeah, so there is some influence from the Achaemenid Persians here, and so you can see that that is allowing us to pick some of the civics that they have enacted from their tree. It doesn't always happen, but it does happen sometimes, and so there are sometimes benefits to having cities very near other empires, but not near yours, right? So that those osmoses can happen both on the civic side and on the science side. You can actually osmosis science and actually be gaining science for, like, when you osmosize, if that's a word, as well. So something to think about. The downside, of course, is if they have a civic that you've already enacted the opposite thing for, and you don't want to switch your civic, you will have to take a large stability penalty in order to refuse to enact that civic. And that's a 10-turn unstacking stability penalty. So, in other words, unstacking, if you have that osmosis event for a civic come up multiple times over those 10 turns, the minus, I think it's -50, it's a really stiff penalty. The minus stability penalty that you have when you decline to enact a civic based on an osmosis event doesn't stack. So it'll just be the standard, whatever. I think it's 50 deduction. If you decline again, it's not 50 more on top of that. You're just it just re-ups the amount of turns that's going for. So just something to keep in mind with those as well. Okay.
This is something you need to see.
Open borders.
I must ruminate.
We have a pleasant relationship here. I'm not going to spend 80. I'm not going to spend 80 to propose this, so we just need to wait a few turns, and then we will propose an alliance with Nox. So we might as well just accept open borders here. I think that's fine.
I cannot
do that. So 2
dispute
turns.
the
We need to wait
benefit
2
in
turns. In 2 turns, we'll be able to propose an alliance, and that will be good for us.
Help me now, please.
Oh, wow. Their attitude just changed to needy. Interesting. So Nox looking to trade things. Okay, let's see if there's anything worth buying since we do have some gold. Silk is not as important for us. Sage, we can buy from somebody else, it looks like. Just a quick check on these. Gemstones, again, are based on market quarters. I don't need those yet. Like, we will end up getting those. And then I don't want to buy from Nox. Let's check the rest of these just for the sake of it.
Let us speak
We're
honestly
fully allied
with each other.
here. We don't need copper yet because I don't think we're using it. Silver and silk are both based on quarters, and so I don't want to spend my money on those quite yet.
Greetings. To what do I owe this pleasure?
Friendly. Can we propose alliance? But not for another couple of turns. So let's see about trade. Silk, again, is per quarter, as our gemstones, so we don't need to make any trades there.
Perhaps
Sage.
we have some common ground.
How expensive is this sage? Let's check our treaties. We are allied. We could use a customs union, but I'd rather have the sage now. 97 money is so cheap for sage. I will take it. Thank you, Mr. 100 Games, 100 Days.
How do you do?
And let's see. Explosive is over here. What do we got? Full alliance. We have horses, but again, this is a merchant. Silk we don't need. Salt trade is suspended due to... Oh yeah, we have a war going on over there. I believe there is a war going on the other continent right now, and that's breaking some of my trade routes, which is a little bit unfortunate. And let's see if we're full trading with... Okay, perfect. Just always nice to double check your trade to make sure you're maximizing that. I believe that there is a current war going on here between the 100 Games, 100 Days Empire and the Plosive Empire right now, so we'll keep an eye on that as things progress. These guys... What are these guys doing? Oh yeah, they are headed over here, I believe, to put down our last place here. If these guys put down an outpost, that would... Oh wow, look at that. Oh, excellent curiosity. Love to see it. These guys are exploring... Unit way over here. We go up here, or should we cut through down here? I feel like these guys can cut down. Let's go north with these guys now. Actually stop and grab that. Maybe we'll cut back on our way. We could stop there now. We'll see. Okay, this is the army that is going to attack into Akkad, if we so choose to. I believe we were building another army here. We can put one more Gaesatai in there, and I think that's what we will do. So we need to build here still. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to build one more. How many archers do we have? We only have what? Maybe we build an archer to go here instead. I think that may be... We'll go with an archer to get a ranged unit in there. We should also get a Pentaconter somewhere. Oh, we can get a Pentaconter here as well. Maybe we should buy a Pentaconter. That's not a bad idea. I'm going to purchase a Pentaconter from this city, and then we're going to build an archer to fill that army out. And then once that army is ready, we will begin our attack on Akkad to be able to kind of destroy them,
With a
get
first
the military
ship,
stars.
you can protect your interests far from home.
And of course, the
And
reason to
maybe
get a
redefine
ship
what those
is
interests
in
are.
order to... Well, this. Hold on this. In order to get the ship, the whole reason for getting the ship would be to get our ocean-going exploration going. And the exploration is maybe less important since we've met everyone. The exploration is less important for meeting people. You do want to meet everybody for trade purposes. But from an exploration standpoint, you do have curiosities out on the water. And so you can go pick up curiosities. And again, those curiosities, particularly the influence and science ones, can really impact your game. And so I think it's important to go hunting for those. I think we should also start working on getting all of our nematons in. I know that we are probably not needing food at this point, and infrastructures might be nice to build, but I think we want to get all of our nematons placed because we have to start thinking about when are we going to move up, right? That has to be a conversation in our minds. Is Lulabot? Yeah, okay, they have one attachment. That's good. All right, let's see where we want to put this. Right here is probably going to be surrounded by the most, and so we'll put it here because we can put farmers' quarters all around it in a much more large fashion. Which by that I mean there's just more spots to put farmers' quarters around. So we'll put there. We'll get that nematon in, and then I believe we are ready to end turn. Unless... Okay, so we have put this in. So Massam is in, and we still have 321 influence to spend. So I think what we would like to do is we're going to do our agrarian ability now and gain 8 population, which is wild. Now, are we taking some from our capital? Yes, our capital's going to lose 1 pop. We're actually okay with that. But that's the only city of ours that we're taking something from, right? I don't believe it would be coming from anywhere else. 1 population from Corral, 1 from Akkad, 1 from Sus, 1 from Lulaban, 2 from San Lorenzo, and 1 from Palit de Putra. None of those are ours except for Corral, so it actually just redistributes our pop. But 8 population for 250, well worth it. So that's what we're going to do. That's why we've been training military out of that city to drop their population a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and execute on this. Always pay attention to your special cultural ability, because some of them are very good. Very good. In the early game, the aesthete cultural ability, insane. An insane way to generate influence early game. This obviously is generating a lot of population. So let's click that. Boom. 20 pop in a city, which is huge. Obviously, that generates some grievances. And now we're down to just 71 influence. So again, we're kind of back to saving up mode again so that we can continue what we're looking to do. Another Osmosis event. A new wonder can be claimed. We're now, you can see, because we now have our 4 cities in, right? Our influence per turn is increasing rapidly. Population also gets you more influence per turn, and so the fact that we use that agrarian ability also probably jumped up our that particular piece of the puzzle as well. Let's check out our Osmosis event, see what we've got. All right, so this is one where we're trade route blocked again. I hate seeing that message. Always a bad deal. And we're close to starving. Yeah, we because of this ability, we have pushed our population to the max as far as food is concerned. We're going to lose a population in 2 turns. So we're probably going to try either to build more army out of here in order to redistribute that population, or we will try to maximize kind of our food production here in order to kind of keep that. Now, for this Osmosis, Founding Myths switching to Divine Mandate, we'll take a look at that really quick. Founding Myths, which is here. So we have enacted Natural Right, which is +5 influence on Main Plaza. That is what we want. We don't want Divine Mandate, which is what the Osmosis event is telling us to take. That's what the Achaemenid Persians have, and so they're saying, because we have it and you're under our influence currently, you should also have it. And that's because this territory here, right, is under their influence pretty heavily. But we don't want it, so we are going to actually refuse this, and see, it's a -50 stability penalty, which is very, very potent for 10 turns. So we're going to refuse it anyway. Why are we refusing it? Because currently our stability is pretty decent, so we're only going to drop to 70% off of that for those turns. And then hopefully we can start to get our influence generation up pretty high so that we can kind of take back ownership of that and not have to worry about any more of those types of things happening with those particular civics that we don't actually want. So last turn, we got a free civic. This turn, we didn't want to take that Osmosis, and so we actually ended up taking a 50 stability hit in the city. So the AI and the cultural kind of transitions back and forth for who's dominant culturally giveth and taketh away. There's a curiosity that we just collected. Where did our boat go, by the way? Oh, our boat appeared way up here. Interesting. I didn't actually pay attention to where the boat was going to show up, but I think that's perfectly fine, because we got ocean to explore potentially up there, so I'm not opposed to that. Let's go. Which way do we want to go? There's open water here. It's probably more that way. Maybe we go this way, because we're allied with Icarus. We know we can go through Icarus's territory. We have to move very slowly with the Pentaconter, and we don't want to... see, so we might be able to pop up here, grab this, and not die. We have to keep in mind that our ships are not very advanced, so we cannot sail out into the water, especially off of the coast, for very long. All right, this unit is... Where are we putting our... I think we got to put this in. I don't want these free peoples to come and, like, put a city in here, so I think I want to just... I know this is not going to be a popular decision, because we should be claiming as much territory here as possible. I really think we got to just finish off our continent here and grab this territory. I think we probably plop down right here and then put like a maker's quarter in here or something ridiculous to take advantage of that. It's not going to cost that much. 213 is pretty hefty penalty. But this is a nice spot to put it. So we're going to go ahead and slap it down there. We'll just get that in. And that will hopefully work for us. We also have, oh gosh, we now have Sarge over here. The Marians have also now entered the New World. So it is getting very crowded on the New World. So we're going to want to start spending all of our influence on just claiming territory. So this one right here is loaded full of good stuff. So I want to make sure we get that one. So let's start maneuvering in that direction. These guys can actually go claim that probably. So these guys will go south. We might as well grab this one there. And then these guys maybe will cross down here to see what's available. We might claim this because that's a nice claim. It's at least got some silver in it. That gets us silver. Could also claim anything in here, but we want to start cutting things off. Let's get back on river. And we'll start to see maybe what's down here as far as that's concerned. As soon as this is built in 2 turns, we'll do an attach. And these guys over here have finished their movement, but they can't go anywhere. So we can close this out because we got the curiosity there. And we want these guys now to swing around into this land and put a claim down somewhere. I'm not sure where the claim will go, so we'll just kind of guide them in that direction. And Noxus people are right here. I think I'm going to try to grab this on our way over. Well, let's jump over here, then we'll wait. We'll try to grab that. These guys are waiting for war. We could probably execute on this war now. We do have... Oh, we have an extra warrior, I forgot. That's what was going to add to this. But we also need to probably even trade more troops out of here, or we need to buy out an infrastructure that gets us food. This gets us an extra farmer slot and plus 2 food per farmer for 616. That probably solves our food problem. So we just buy that out. Now we have 9 turns to get our food production up, and so that's probably fine. And then so what we do is we go work on we could go work on our Nemeton. Where are we gonna place that? Probably way up here where there's actually food. That is a nice spot, except we could surround that. That's our harbor, so we want to save those spots for market quarters if at all possible. I'm wondering if we go here, it's just 1 food production, and then it allows us to still put several market quarters around it. It's still very valuable placement. So I think we're going to go here instead, just in case we want to save that for market quarters and really buff up that harbor. It's always a possibility to do that, and so we'll think about that as an option. This only costs us 1 food in the meantime, so let's put it down right here. Alright, these guys are going to wait again, because I think we're going to hold... Well, actually, no, we don't really need to hold. We could probably just engage a fight over here. So let's bring these warriors in. Let's keep them high ground, actually. That's a cliff. Oh, it's not a cliff. Okay, so we'll put the warriors here. This army can just stay, probably, because we don't really need them to run this attack. I think we run it this way. Yeah, let's run it this way. Where else could we attack from? We don't really want to do that. That gives them advantage. This keeps them on that side, but I think just a straight attack is probably fine. Limits them, puts them against the wall. Let's get some fights going. We'll manual battle this. Archers can obviously stay back, and we are going to get first attacks. We probably just want to be moved up with as many units as possible. So we'll have them, for the most part, surrounded. These guys will come in afterwards, and we'll be able to kind of attack them from all sides. End our deployment. Alright, there's their 2 units deployed here, and then this is good because their chariot will not be able to maneuver out and make an attack on the run, which is always nice. We'll add this unit in right away so that they're full surrounded, and then we want to damage them first before we start our run of our attack. So we'll hit them with the archers first because that's going to be most beneficial. The next best attack is going to be these guys, so we'll do that attack first because they're attacking from downhill. These guys also have the downhill attack, but we might save them to be able to hit these guys. So I think even though these are kind of bad attacks coming uphill and off river, the river stuff is going to put it like both things there. Okay, perfect. And then we'll move these guys in here. And then these guys will make first attack here once they're supporting this unit. We might be able to just end this thing with 1 swift fight. Boom. Units are dead. And we are starting to collect, if we look over here, some of those military defeats or destroying military units, and so we'll get some military stars out of that. Always nice to collect a few military stars, even if you're not a warring particular person. If you're not going to war a lot, you can still collect those military stars by engaging in battle with some of the free peoples or finding units to fight that are kind of outside of claimed territories. That's always an option as well. So now we want to try to see what would it be like if we attacked with these guys. I think we wait. We want to move all these guys into position to be able to be added to the fight. And so that's probably what we'll do, is add those guys in at a later time. So next turn we might run an attack and see if we can attack the units rather than the city. That's always a good bet because it doesn't engage the city in the combat. They only have 2 units in the city, so it's not really a big deal, but it's something to think about. Okay, Carol has put in all of its nematons, so our emblematic districts are in, which is good. We are at pop cap here, so it's good that we stole one over into our other city. We could use that ability one more time, probably, unless we move up sooner than 9 turns. We may be able to try to steal pop again, and maybe redistribute out or balance our things. I'd love to put in a district, but we're falling behind on a lot of our builds here. A lot of our infrastructures are behind. 10 food would be really nice. 32 food would be insane. We're obviously not in food trouble right now. We are at reaching population cap, and so I feel like we probably want to start to maneuver our way into more district-based placements. And I am wondering if we should start to build some research quarters around this particular resource, because these strategic resources boost our research quarters. So we could start with a research quarter here and kind of put 3 of them in a surrounding fashion around this, and they will all end up boosting off each other. So I think we might put a research quarter in, just because we don't necessarily have one yet. So let's get a research quarter in Caral, and then we'll kind of see where we go from there. Probably build an infrastructure after that, is what I imagine. We have 93 influence. I don't think we can claim anything with that currently, and we're down to just 100 gold because we bought some units for this city as well. So let's make sure we've done connections. These guys are connected up to, I think, just 2. Let's double check that. Yeah, 2. 1 here, 1 there. So we have all of our nematons in that city, as well. And so we might keep on thinking about making more attachments, but we kind of want to get rid of these free peoples before we do that. So Lulabon is building, obviously, we'll get 2 nematons in there. So we'll have our nematons in, so we will be able to move up at some point in the future. Let's keep progressing. Oh, wow. A lot of notifications just popped up on the bottom, and a lot of them are grievance-based, and that is potentially bad. Let's see what may have happened. A new wonder can be claimed. So we're over 200 influence per turn now, so our influence problems are starting to solve themselves. We have an Osmosis event again in Lulabon. Let's see what it is this time. -20 to attach outpost costs and -20 to absorb city costs. So they want us to switch legitimacy from codified laws, and that is not really something we want. Which is customary. So we are currently -50 on create outpost cost. That is what we want, because we're not attaching right now. We need to claim territories. So we want customary laws, the -50 create outpost costs. So we're going to have to decline that again. Again, it does not stack, but it does reset the timer on it. So it's going to be 10 turns from now instead of 10 turns from last turn. We had that -50 stability. So we're going to have to refuse this again. We need to increase our influence generation to be able to kind of push back some of the pressure that we're getting from Icarus over here in purple, in order to not have those pop up anymore. Again, sometimes they can be good. So, we'll see. Trade route destroyed. 7 trade routes burned down because of a war. That is going to hurt our economy a great deal. Okay, what are all these grievances?
Hello. I always look forward to our conversations.
Perfect. So this is all of the trade breaks that we just had. So when you have a trade route that is broken by somebody, you can claim grievances against them, and you can demand payment for breaking those trade routes. I don't really ever do that kind of thing, but they are bound to me. I don't know how much gold they have. Let's demand one of these just to see if we can get 800 gold.
salve the wounds you caused, and we can move on.
Okay, he did not... Interesting. Okay, he did not...
There is evil in your heart.
He decided not to pay, and now that has actually complicated things further, because now, because of our relationship, and we have a demand ongoing with them, it's also blocked more of our trade routes. So that actually was painful, although our war support has increased by a ridiculous amount. Slightly problematic that we did that, probably. That's why I try to maintain friendly relations with everyone as much as possible. But such is life. Let's bring these guys up here. Let's bring this army into this-ish spot. I don't love that spot, but probably a good spot to be. And then we will run an attack, actually, down from the mountain over here. Should be able to add in a bunch of our units. This is going to, hopefully, if we come up here even and then attack. Oh, no, we can't attack from that. Okay, so we do come from here. That actually is kind of a choke, but we have reinforcements that kind of come and help us in that fight. So let's get this battle underway. Annual battle this. Our archers, we want probably, yeah, like high ground somewhere. I believe from high ground here, they should be able to shoot just about anywhere. So if we move our... we move our archers here. I like that we're already back. We're going back door with this unit right here. Like, that's kind of fun. And then we'll obviously add these units in. This unit will progress into the city pretty quickly, probably, if they can. Obviously, they have a good city placement, so they have some defensible positions. We're attacking up the whole time, but we have a bunch more units than them that are higher class, higher caliber, so we'll be able to execute on this fight, hopefully. Let's end deployment. We'll stick with that. And then let's add in all of our units. We're going to jump this guy into the city, I believe, because that's going to be advantageous. So we'll jump him in. Also will allow us to add more units here. We'll start filing in some of our units, getting them into attacking types of positions. Add in this guy. Where does this go? Our last unit is, I believe, an archer that can probably set up over here. Where do I want this? I don't want to block this route because these guys are going to come down and start attacking. So I think we just back this guy off. We'll add in the archer unit. Probably pull the archer unit away so that they cannot get attacked. Bring the archer unit back. And then we should be able to shoot as well. So let's attack their archers. Seems like a smart idea. We'll hit their archers. We'll hit this archer as well. And then we'll run our guys down the hill and attempt to make an attack. Should be a pretty decent attack for us. That, and then we'll also attack in here. I know these are technically bad attacks because we're attacking off river, but we really don't have much of a choice in that regard. And then these guys actually can come around and just fight the spearmen head on. We could also just come in and try to get the archers, but it's just it's a really bad attack. So we'll just try to execute on this one. Kind of have them surrounded now. Let's see how they respond. Oh, these guys can actually attack, so we can finish these archers. Perfect. So finished off the archers. I'm not going to take that yet. I want them to keep it because I'm going for kills here, right? If I would have taken the flag, right, we could have potentially ended this fight early, but we actually don't want to end the fight early. We want the fight to keep going because we're looking for those attacks. Wow, that's going to really close to getting them. Let's see if that gets them. Got him. Nice. Perfect. Let's attack with our other archers. We'll attack these spearmen. And then we'll bring these guys around. They'll get the flanking. Well, I don't know if we have that attack. They'll get at least the bonus from being close to our units. Oh, we can't quite end them. Let's take a little damage. It's okay. We don't mind taking the damage with this. And I guess we attack. Here we go. I don't want to spend too much time thinking about it. It was a clear fight win, so we can't get to these guys. I think these guys just kind of sit here. We'll move them in, but I think we'll just end them. These guys will come down. They will die. We'll get another kill. So we got four units destroyed in that fight. We didn't lose anybody, so that went perfectly well. And we didn't actually attack the city either, and so there's actually more unit destroying that we can get done, and you'll see we are now 2 units away from a military star, and that's what we're going for. We wanted to eliminate this territory so we can claim it as well, but we also want those military stars. So they have 2 populations, so they will spawn 2 units to defend their city with, and we will then be able to get a military star, which is kind of what we're going for. Sarge has now gained renown as a thief for breaking trade routes, which is unfortunate. Tana Borealis' population has fallen. Where is Tana Borealis? Oh yeah, we need to run an attach here. Because their population was dropping. Probably... Oh, yeah, we have to... Oh, no, we actually can run a Lulaban attach on that. It's 162. The reason we'll wait is because they just lost a pop, so we might as well let them regain that population a little bit. But we should start keeping an eye on each of our territories, especially the ones that we've had claimed for a while, because they're actually potentially starting to come up on pop problems, which is what happened over here. They actually lost a pop because they weren't generating enough food to sustain it. This guy has put his claim in. Don't think this is a fight we could take. Otherwise, we could potentially even... Yeah, that's 3 death. We would get wiped. Now, if we could upgrade these guys to horsemen, that would be a whole different story. Probably what we're going to do with these guys is distribute them back into one of our cities. We could probably put them here into Osmosis. So I think what I'll do is I'll send them that way. In order to do that, because we really don't need these 4 anymore for anything, so I think we're just gonna, actually, we only have to be in the territory to disband them, so we'll just get them into the territory and probably begin to disband them. Wow, we're gonna snake this, just beating Nox's troops there for that. Nox also crossing over the island, not claiming it. That's interesting. Alright, so we're gonna run these guys this direction. See, obviously, we'll just grab this. Looks like this might be water right here, potentially. We'll have to see. Nice curiosity. Like that. These guys are going to take a jaunt up here. Oh, double. Perfect. And probably what's going to happen is we're not going to be able to collect this on our way down. We might have to come down here, pop back up, drop back down, and then see if we can't get over here after that. But you can see, why did we get a boat? That. Curiosities is exactly why we got a boat. Alright, Lulaban has another Nemeton to put in. Because we're, again, thinking about moving up, we want to get those Nemetons in. Best Nemeton spot is probably that +10, because, again, we could put another farmer's quarter here and a farmer's quarter here. That may or may not become a farmer's quarter, even though it's the 3 production. We'll see, but that's the best spot here to get us kicked off. And we are picking a new tech. I believe... Yeah, this the techs are going to tell us when we move up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 turns, and then our research generation, our science generation, will stop counting because we'll have researched everything here. So we do want potentially to think about within the 10-turn limit being in our move up. I'm going to take this just to get access to horsemen. We can then upgrade our scouts to horsemen. That is the scout upgrade. And horsemen are potent. They are potent, and because you have to wait to upgrade scouts all the way to horsemen, scouts all of a sudden will become a very useful unit to you when you can upgrade them to horsemen. We did not spend influence on that turn, which may have been a mistake, but I'm sure we'll spend it on this turn. Corral are starving, so we need to take a look at that. Food production has now reached a problematic level here, which is not altogether surprising. We have 1 turn left on a research quarter. We have 700 gold, though, so we may be able to just buy out our granary like we did in our other city. That's going to get us the food scenario fixed that we want. We don't really have anything else we're spending our gold in currently, although we do need to save up to get many of our trade routes back online again. I'm not going to do that until that war ends. When we see that war has stopped, then we probably go and purchase those trade routes again. But you'll notice... the stability we have a problem with, our food we have a problem with, all because of the war that's going on and all of our trade routes being broken, because we're getting so much stability from those trade routes, from those luxuries, and we're getting, obviously, food from those as well. So let's buy in our granary. And then the other thing we probably want to do is I want to jump back into our diplomacy. And I'm going to go ahead and end this demand. I'm going to withdraw it because I'd like to see our trade come back. Excellent.
We would all
Customs
benefit
Union?
from growing
Perfect. I love this idea.
Yes,
Let's
I
do
cannot
a
dispute
scientific
the
agreement as
benefit in
well.
that. We would
Perfect.
all benefit from
Now we're
growing
fully
closer,
allied
don't you
with
think?
100 games, 100 days, and we
proposal
can
makes
probably think
good
about buying some
sense.
stuff.
I
We don't have
say
the gold
yes.
because we just spent it, but we'll probably start. And again, I'm not sure about until this war is over. I'm not sure about buying those trade routes because they may just get broken again, right? That's what we don't want to see. Okay. We stole this. I believe there was another curiosity over here. Was that... I think. Didn't we see something over here when we were on land? I thought I saw another curiosity over here. Was I wrong? That may have been a waste of time. I thought I saw another one over there. Maybe it got snaked. All right, let's pop over here just to make sure that that's actually water. It is not. So there is a resource here and a river tile. All right, let's jump down one, maybe two, just to get that explored. We'll go bog bust over here. Probably need to put a claim in. You can see plosives people looking and exploring. We can make this attachment, so we're going to go ahead and do that. 27 influence. Again, first attachments are very cheap, so I usually will take them as soon as possible. That's going to get us an expansion star. How far are we on the expansion side of things? That's our 3rd expansion star, so that's another good, like, okay, we're close to moving up. We're close to moving up on science. We have not gotten any ST stars. We have not gotten any merchant stars. That's a little bit problematic, and we're also behind on builder stars. This tells me the game is not going particularly splendidly. Typically, by the time I have all my science stars in, I've gotten at least a couple merchant or estate, one or the other, and definitely my builder stars in. So we need to focus up a little bit on getting some building done. Our production is probably a little low at this point, so maybe we choose to move up into a more industrious culture in the next era in order to kind of make sure we fix that particular problem. All right, let's get, if we can, I'd like to get some units into a better position. I like, if we run this attack, I think that's probably the way to do it. Well, here's what I want. Can we move these guys here? No, we can't, because that would be, I can't move through the city, so that's probably fine. These guys are the freshest units, so I want to attack with them because they're pretty full health. There's only 2 units here, so I don't really have to think that hard about this particular attack. But let's go ahead and do this. We'll go ahead and get this city taken. We're just going to assault it right away. We could levy our siege and wait for their defenses to drop, but we actually want the kills, so we don't really want to do that. So we'll run the assault right away. We'll do a manual battle again, just because that's kind of what I like to do. All of these units are already in the fight. This guy will get added later. Actually interesting, it combined those armies, because they were, I guess, right next to each other, and I can place them all at once. I don't think I knew that that happened. Gave both armies direct placement capability because they were within the bounds of the initial fight. I didn't have to add them. That is interesting to note. The things you learn when you figure out stuff and things about the game. Interesting. These guys I want just like in the back. They're not going to fight. We'll get our archers on high ground. Does it put that archer in danger of a running attack from over here? It does. We'll try to step a unit up this direction because we want to do that anyway to kind of block the archers from getting hit. The rest of these guys are probably in okay position. We want these guys off to the... Again, we'll probably just stick these guys back here. We don't want them in the fight. They're all damaged. We'll accomplish the fight without getting those guys hurt, so... We'll end deployment. This guy's going to maneuver his way over here. All of our guys are actually going to scoot their way over and create this scenario here. This unit is going to move into the city.
This way.
And then we're going to use our archers. Attack this guy. And we'll crash down. Well, on equal footing first, right? We want to take that equal footing fight before we take another fight. That unit will be destroyed. And this unit, I actually kind of want to defend with... Well, we might as well just attack. The levies have all of the advantage here. So we probably could just defend, but we'll run the attack, get him damaged. I don't think we're going to lose this unit, so it's not a big deal. He's going to go up there anyway, so it was a good choice to attack him. And now our archers will have free reign. We'll be shooting him. Easy. And we attack the even ground first. Take the least amount of damage. And the city should now be ours. There's the militarist star for killing 2 more people. Exactly what we're going for. Again, gets us the fame. We want the fame. Fame, good. Icarus has forgiven agreements for stealing his independent people. We actually don't want this city. And there is actually 0 population in this city currently. Yes, they have a couple districts down. I don't think that they're great districts. We're probably just going to burn this city to the ground so we can put a claim in. All right, these guys are going to die if they stay in the water. We're going to go ahead and jump these guys back over here. Oh, we can actually upgrade these guys. They have 4 movement. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So they would die if we left. So we're going to go and plop them over here. Probably upgrade them. Because we, I think, have the gold to do that. 180. Don't quite have the gold. Maybe next turn. Because that would allow them to sit in the water a little bit long. Akkad is ready to be... I don't want to do anything. With the city of Akkad, because we are going to burn it down on the next turn. So we're probably... I mean, I guess we could put in... We could start working an iron mine here. Because that would probably stay around, maybe? I'm not really sure. So we're not going to do much with that. Huatu is ready to build more food production. In fact, they're going to lose a person next turn. So we may actually... should we, in fact, build another unit? We could get a quad out on the water. It takes 2 turns. I think we're going to lose a pop here regardless. Because we don't have the money to buy anything. It's unfortunate. So, probably need to increase our food production here. How are we going to do that? A farmer's quarter will do it. That is a 4-turn build. Once we lose the 1 pop, though, we won't have problems with that anymore. 14 food up here. That's definitely the direction we want to go. Let's put it here. I like that spot. City probably would lose a pop, but again, we gained 8, so it's fine. We'll be able to redistribute pop with our armies at a later time. Lulaban is ready to build something as well. They got all their Nematons in for the 2 attachments they've made. We could spend influence on another attachment and get a Nematon in Tania Borealis. That is actually not a bad play, because I like the Nematons quite a bit. It's 189 attached. We could still run another attach in the New World, or a claim in the New World. So I think I'm going to do this. I think we're going to run that attachment, because otherwise, again, we're going to lose population here shortly. So Lulaban is going to attach this, and then we're going to put a Nematon down in this area. Is that the best spot for a Nematon? Yes, I think it is. So we'll go ahead and plop that down. Now we have another city with multiple territories that adds population. Lulaban's up to 15 pop now as well. Right, fields of plenty. Hark, your empire is a land of plenty. Your city's a quiltwork of farms and small holdings that feed your hungry and ambitious people. While new methods of the age bring huge grain silos into your employ, transforming the farming landscape. As the sector scales up, you must now ask yourself if it is time for the state to run the empire's farms. Let's take a look at this as we wrap up the episode, and we wrap up this particular turn. +1 farmer slot on cities per outpost, plus 1 farmer slot on city or outpost per farmer's quarter. That sounds wonderful. I would love to enact that. Do we want to spend 258 influence to get this? That would save our population. Oh, man. We wouldn't be able to put a claim in, but we're not going to put a claim in this turn anyway, because we've already moved our units. So I think we do it. I think that we're going to do that. Industrial production, +1 farmer slot on city, and at per farmer's quarter. I think we do it. I think this is the way. It's going to cost us a lot of influence. What's new? We're going to enact that.
National
we're going to take the
control
extra
of
food.
vital products and resources.
I think it's a good idea.
Paradoxically,
that's going to save
provide more
our
freedom
population
and
here,
autonomy.
right? This city is now making, switch to expert policy, actually, it's going to be making a bunch of food. Now we're not going to lose our population. That's perfect. So saves our population. So a timely civic. A hollow victory. After a protracted battle for Akkad, your armies forced themselves through the gates, only to be greeted by a grisly sight. Many of the inhabitants of the siege city, men, women, and children alike, lay dead in the streets and hovels, bodies still and lips blue. A scout, sniffing an uncorked vial, offers a grim prognosis. They chose death over your rule. The victory feels hollow. How should the death be handled? Ooh. Part the bodies away and burn them in a pyre outside, even if your citizens call you callous. Moves us towards our science. Respect, even though their actions were unfathomable, they should still be accorded their traditional rights. There's no one left in that city. We're going to take the science. Feels bad, but we're going to take the science. We're going to trajectory towards progress is what we're looking for. And then on the next turn, which will be on the next episode, we will go ahead and burn that city down and then just place our own outpost to be able to attach it to, I think to Lulaban is where we're going with that. All right. I believe that is where we're going to end things. We did not get much claiming done in the New World, but such is life when you're running an influence deficit and you need more. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you for tuning in. If you liked the video, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe for more Humankind content. I'm releasing these videos every Sunday afternoon. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.